just tell them like, okay, you're gonna hear something, you're gonna talk about it, and then we'll sort it out?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. They knew that they were going to hear something outside.
Okay.
But the longer we got into it, the bigger the rocks were. I just started throwing big rocks at it, and I was really out of my mind during this movie. I'm glad there wasn't a documentary behind the scenes because we do the first take, and Bryce. Right, Jim, he burst into tears during the first take. And I go, we get done, I go, that was really good, Bryce, but I don't think Jim would cry, okay? He goes, Jim's not crying, I'm fucking crying. Why are we out in the woods? There was a mountain lion here earlier, we can do this in a fucking parking lot, no one knows we're here. I go, that's good, use that energy in the screen. Just don't cry. So that's the second take. There's 3 takes. The third take, they both were like, they're wiped out. They're like, kill us, Bigfoot. They were just like, they were just so trained.
They were ready to die.
Yeah, so that's the second take. And so one of the things that honestly motivated me, I was saying, there's no suspense in God Bless America, and I wondered and questioned if I had the ability to make suspense. And like everybody, or maybe not, but I really love Tarantino's movies, and there's always these scenes where nothing's going on, and you're sitting at the edge of your seat, and it's usually, I figured out, there's usually a character that's not on camera, or is not in the room or whatever, it's just, they're just so suspenseful. So that was really why I did that long take. I wanted to see if I could deliver that. Now,
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
We had a screen outside. We were very pleased.
The first time I saw the movie with an audience, I had back surgery, and I was high, and I was sitting there, and I was with Lexi, and we're watching a movie, and then it's like, Bigfoot comes, and I go, ha! And Lexi looks over at me, and she goes, that's you, dummy. I think it works. Yeah, because even if you know it, you don't know when. You get lulled into this thing, and you don't know what's going to happen. And I know for like horror fans, it's not a horror film; it's a suspense movie. So they're disappointed. They wanted the money shot, They wanted to see Bigfoot, but I always think Bigfoot is kind of like Satan, because in your head you have your own idea. Whenever Satan shows up on a movie, I'm like, fake, you know what I mean? Because we all have our own idea of what evil would be. So I didn't want to show. With that said, I mean, I've written a few very gory movies. I do want to do a gory horror. I've written 2, and someday hopefully I'll get to make them.
Yeah.
I wrote this one I'll never get going, but especially with our way abortion is right now. But I wrote, there was a guy, a minister in Milwaukee that was taking aborted fetuses, or basically what he thought was aborted fetuses, and giving them Christian burials. He would actually go in so I thought, well, this writes itself. It's a zombie fetus movie, zombie fetuses, going like trying to find hosts and going into people's assholes and mouths. So that's my dream project. That's what we call it, anchor. So I think some people think I copped out, but I didn't cop out. It was a decision. And I'm not a snob. I really love gore. I mean, Brain Dead or what was it called here? Dead Alive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite movies. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so you said that in the tent scene, all the little snuffling sounds and throwing stuff and hitting the tent, that was all you. Yeah. What about that unearthly howling that we hear? What is that?
I think that's me. Because that.
You hear it at the very end.
Yeah, that's like Sasquatch. You're supposed to go. I can't do it now. That. I can't know. But so one night I was out with Tom Yamarone, and we were looking for Bigfoot. And we had to get away from the camp where there was no lights. We had to turn off everything we had that lit up. And
were you scared? I would be.
no, for some reason the woods don't scare me. So I was out there, and Tom would go, whoop, whoop. Huh. So tomorrow we're gonna leave at about 7 a.m. And he just kept doing that. Whoop, whoop. Did you guys eat tonight? You know? But every time, I left it out that time, but every time he'd go, huh, that was weird. It was Friday, right? Because I told Sasquatch I'd meet him Friday. So, I don't know, maybe it went right to his messages. Yeah, so that was good. And then Tom sat around the campfire and sang his entire catalog of historical Bigfoot songs. And he ran out about 13 songs in, and he goes, you guys, I go, Tom, you got any more songs? He goes, you guys like Jewel? I love Jewel, Tom, so Tom Yamaron did the Jewel hit. And then this particular time, because of the mountain lions, there's this guy, Ranger Robert Lieberman. He had a gun on him. So I'm not that crazy. I was kind of sitting next to him after we saw this mountain lion, the same mountain lion, I think, second time. So we're sitting around the campfire, trying to make noise to keep the things away. And then he goes to me, he goes, you know, I'm a writer too. I go, oh really? What do you write? He goes, well, I write tween fiction set in the Bigfoot community. He goes, it's like Twilight, but for Sasquatch. And I go,
are all the characters Sasquatches?
no. It's
okay.
It's
like a girl's in love with a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I said, well, if I go to try to find one of your books, he goes, well, the most popular one is Yeti or Not. Coming of age story, yeah. But the Bigfoot community kind of got pissed at him because one of his books he introduced like fairies and gnomes, and they were going, Jesus, Bob, you're making us look stupid. So they got really mad when he introduced these. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, you were talking about suspense.
Yeah.
Something that I really love that you do in the, the suspense portion of the film is, I think you